turning veteran and teaching the young kids a thing or two?
Great fun. No, I had fun playing this character and doing this always, and you know, it was lovely to have a new cast come in. They were great. They came in with great enthusiasm, and they were excited to be a part of it. And as actors, I don't think we really needed to teach them the ropes in any way. They're all professionals in their own right, and did a great job.
Angela?
Yes.
Angela, I was just wondering, you know, for all of you actually, you know, you've been part of this for so long now that, you know, when you come back to set, like first day or rehearsal or whatever, I mean, what is it like for you when you come back, you know, reconvene after 11 years, I guess, since the last one?
I just love working with all these amazing people. You know, we've developed this family, not only, you know, fellow actors and director, but, you know, the crew, all of this crew that we've shared 15 years together. You know, it has been 10 years since we worked together, but there's a real family feeling of, and it really grounds it. Like when I see, you know, Sidney's character in the movie, there's a history there. And you don't really have that opportunity in a lot of roles. And then, you know, Courteney being married, having a kid, and like everything, it just makes it intensifies the sort of reality and honesty, and that's really my favorite part of acting, when you can tap into stuff like that.
Oh, all of us? These are off, aren't they?
Hello. They're recording, they're not.
Oh, good, okay. I forgot the question.
Oh, just like coming, you know, like coming together the first day after such a long time.
Well, it just felt very natural. Like, I mean, first of all, we have had 10 more years of experience of acting, so I was that much more confident as a, you know, I'm now a mom, I'm just a different person, but it's like being a different person, feeling a, you know, different thing, but coming back with your family. So you just know each other, and you feel like you can just kind of get right back into it and be better than you were last time and learn from anything. And, you know, Wes was instrumental in us being together. He was, you know, he's like kind of our mentor in relationships and growing up, and, you know, to come back and do it again, it was just really fun. And I became closer with Neve during this movie than I did the first 3, and I just adore that girl, so.
Yeah, no, it was really nice to get to know each other better.
Wes, I was wondering, I've heard once, you gave an interview years ago where you were talking about that, I think you were saying that you were raised in a household that was really strict, and you didn't get to see a lot of movies and things like that, and I was just wondering, what drew you into horror? Was it like a rebellion thing or something else? And what is the fascination for you with, you know, basically mastering this kind of genre?
I could be making any kind of film. So happens, the first chance I got to make a movie, somebody wanted a scary movie. And that's how I got into it, and nobody asked me to make a romantic comedy or anything else after that.
That's because it was so good.
No, it was so terrifying. So I just, at first it was an opportunity to make movies. And I started watching other horror movies. I hadn't seen one before, and there was a period where I felt sort of entrapped. And then there was a realization that, you know, you're working, you're directing. I mean, how many people get a chance to do that? And also, I taught when I was a college teacher. I taught the Greek myths a lot, and I realized that horror films were like in the 20th century at that time mythology, and that rather than looking down on it, feeling a little embarrassed about it, just treat it like that and make it the mythology as much as you could of your current generation and your era. And when I realized that, then, you know, I got into making sort of like Nightmare on Elm Street films that were really multi-layered and playing around with reality and time and everything else. And it's like I became very proud to be in the genre. And I think the audience is very smart and very adventurous. There are people that can face fear, which a lot of people can't. And I find the most interesting people that I've met in life in general are people that can face fear and even have fun with it. So I started to face it a little bit more and more and have more and more fun with it.
In most movies, you have people who investigate the strange noises outside. In real life, are you the kind to go investigate, or to hide and call 911?
I do, but I have a shotgun.
I investigate.
Yeah, yeah, I think I do.
Courtney, this question is for you. You said that your role in Cougar Town is the most fun role that you've ever had. Why is that? And you yourself, which characteristics do you have from Gail and from your character in Cougar Town?
I say that about Cougar Town just because it's the most written for me. I mean, it was a series that was created for me, and I produced it, so I have a lot to say. And you know, the writer of that movie is constantly taking from my life, and it's fun to play a part of yourself. And even though it's a heightened part, it's really fun to show the Scooby side that people don't know, and you're just very free. But as far as Gail goes, I mean, I definitely have that tough side, and I definitely have, but I mean, Gail's just very campy, and I love her relationship with Dewey, and the fact that they're together is so funny, that he's so earnest, and she's so out to get ahead, and it's just a very odd pairing, and so are we, and it's kind of, although we're not really, but we kind of are. But so, I don't know, I love playing Gail. I think she's probably the most fun when it comes to, because it's a real character. And I forgot my name on Cougar Town because I'm on hiatus. One week. Chills is just, I don't know. I think it's fun.
Yeah, actually I have a question for Wes. One of my favorite parts of the new Scream was finding out about all the new Stab movies there have been since the last one. You ever gonna make a Stab? Just really cheesy, straight to video.
No.
Judy?
Yeah, for Wes, you obviously have a shorthand, I would imagine, with the original cast, and I wondered if you felt you were directing them differently than the new cast that maybe have never done this type of movie before, or you feel like it was all exactly the same. Maybe you could talk about working with Wes
Or
again.
not. Well, we do. I think we definitely do have a shorthand, and certainly the characters are established. But the interesting thing about the characters is they are always changing. Obviously, Neve was a teenager, her character, and everybody else was quite a bit younger. So they've all gone through these enormous changes in their lives. I think that's part of what makes Scream so unique. Actually, it can't be so unique. You're either unique or not. So it makes it unique in that people actually have lives. They actually change. They change who they are in some ways. The fact that Gail Weathers decided to marry Dewey and take that chance and live in this small town despite the fact that she probably knew she was going to be bored stiff in some ways. That's really fascinating, and you just don't get that at all in any other films that I can think of. So I think we're all amazed that we're in this drama really that is taking place over 15, 16 years. It's just extraordinary. I don't know of another film that has done this. So I think we're all pretty damn excited about being part of it. And then every new one has this extraordinary young cast as well that we all get to kind of watch ourselves when we were younger, or just watch these great young talents blossom in front of us. So it has a lot of rewards, and I don't think any of us think of it just as a horror film or a slasher film at all. It's a very interesting, complex, funny, smart drama.
Have you seen him change in all since the very first film?
I've grown more hair. I used to be much baldder.
Scott, go ahead.
Oh, you didn't let them answer. Does anyone?
Yeah, I mean, Wes is just, he's incredible. I mean, you really are. He's just he watches like Korean horror films, like in the middle of some of the filming, and I'm like, Wes, what are you doing? He's still,
Learning.
as much of a master as he is at it, he's still a student, and that's what makes him so incredible. He's also a student of, nature and human behavior, so it's been a great experience, just really growing with each other and going through life's changes, and really, it brings a real a reality. I guess I already said it, but it brings a humanness to these movies and another layer, because there's films within films, but then there's real life films. They're all really kind of intermingling.
Scott?
Off screen, have any of you successfully scared the crap out of somebody?
I ran around in Gail's dress with the trench coat on the first film. That was pretty frightening. If you've ever seen my calves.
Anybody else? I don't think I have. Ryan?
Neve and Wes, can you talk about how important it is to make sure that the core of each Scream film centers around Sidney just as much as it is about drawing on horror and commenting on the fads and what's happening in the genre at the time? Because each film, you guys are trying to find a core about what Sidney's about and the journey she's going on. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I think what's fun, what has been fun for me playing Sidney is it's just, I think she's the eyes of the audience in a sense, or she is, the audience is taken with her, because they need one core character to really feel for in order for the horror and for the humor to work. And so for me, it's just been about being really straight and honest with her circumstances and being true to them and playing it in that way and letting everybody else to buzz around me and do a really fantastic job. I think you'd probably want to see.
Well, I might start crying. I mean, I think, Neve, I think embodies everything we all like to have, that sort of substance, honesty, lack of pretense, and has put that into her character. Intelligence, refusing to be, just go along with whatever the fad is at the time. And at the same time, she had a real sort of illusions about who she was insofar as her family and mother especially was, which makes it really fascinating when she finds out in the first Scream that her mother was a slutbag whore. As somebody says in the film. So she's had all these incredible adjustments she's had to make to what the reality of her life in her small town is. And that is just a fascinating character. And, carrying over into this film with somebody related to her mother, her mother's sister's kid, and all the revelations with that. There's so much richness in this, and I think Neve just has those qualities. Plus, she can really kick ass. I mean, I don't know whether you know, but she was a championship ice skater in her teens and 20s. And
Ballet dance.
Ballet, did you?
I didn't ice skate.
Anyway, she, really a real athlete. She, to say this, this past film, she training for it. She injured her foot. She had a rather severe fracture of her foot, and she did the entire movie with a lot of action, without any complaint, even though she was in excruciating pain a lot of the time. So she's tough and beautiful and wonderful. I think she kind of embodies what everybody likes to think is the best of America. That's it.
Jeremy, last question.
When Scream hit in 1996, it was a phenomenon, and the sequels were made in fairly rapid succession. Now that you've had, there's a 10-year layoff in between these movies, did your perspective on the franchise and what the films meant to you change, and if so, how?
Well, I just personally, I felt like we needed to kind of bring it back up to the bar a little bit. I thought Scream 3 was a little too goofy, maybe a little too Scooby-Doo, and we didn't have Neve as nearly as much as we did in this. She wasn't available that much, so we had her character was a little bit more in the background a lot of the time. So I think we all wanted to come back. Not that we were making up for anything, but we just wanted to definitely, if we were going to come back and do one, I'm sure all of us felt like it has to be really, really good. And not just to prove something to anybody else or even ourselves, just it deserved to be good. The audience deserved for it to be good. And, frankly, hearing the response to the screen even last night, I think we all feel really good because we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this film. Believe me, it's been going on for a year and a half, so it's not something we just knocked off. We really gave our all for it. So that's you don't get an opportunity to do that in life and come up with something really good that often. So it's a good feeling.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.